Hey, Skull Nation. What's up, my fellow Vikings faithful? Imagine this. The roar of a packed stadium across the pond, purple and gold clashing with that rusty orange under the London lights. It's not just another game. It's our Minnesota Vikings taking on the Cleveland Browns in the heart of the 2025 International Series. As a die-hard Vikings fan who's bled purple since the days of Randy Moss torching secondaries, I can already feel the adrenaline pumping. We're talking Justin Jefferson doing what he does best, burning defenders for 6, while we stare down Myles Garrett's edge rush. But hold up, before we dive into the chaos, ask yourself, can our boys shake off that tough loss to the Steelers in Dublin and claim this neutral turf as Vikings territory? Stick with me, because in the next 15 segments, we're breaking it all down with the fire you crave from Vikings news, stats, stories, and straight-up hype that'll have you pounding that like button mid-watch. Picture the electric buzz at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this Sunday, October 5th, kicking off at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time sharp. Our Vikings, sitting at 2-2 after that heartbreaker in Ireland where Pittsburgh edged us 24-21, are hungry to bounce back against a Browns squad that's stumbling at 1-3 following a 34-10 demolition by Detroit. Jefferson's been a beast early this season, hauling in 28 catches for 412 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's WR1 magic, folks, averaging 14.7 yards per grab and turning short slants into highlight reel daggers. But here's the intrigue. London's jet lag and that artificial turf could test our O-line, especially with those nagging injuries up front that let the Steelers sack Sam Darnold 3 times last week. What do you think, Skull fam? Will JJ's speed outrun the clock? Or will we need Jordan Addison to step up big with his 19 receptions for 285 yards? Drop your bold prediction in the comments. I want to hear if you're calling for 150 yards from Jefferson. As the whistle blows, expect a chess match from the jump. Our defense, ranking top 6 in sack rate at 9.2% and third down stops at 38% conversion allowed, versus Cleveland's stingy front that leads the league in yards per play surrendered at just 4.1. We've been generating 5.7 yards per snap offensively, but the Browns cough up only 14 points per game on average. Talk about a low-scoring slugfest brewing. Remember our history here? Vikings are 4-0 in regular season London romps, including that 33-16 smackdown over these same Browns in 2017. This one's counting as a Browns home game, but neutral ground favors the bold. And with our run game clicking at 4.8 yards per carry led by Aaron Jones's 62 rushes for 298 yards, we could grind him down early. Who's with me in yelling, "Skull!" at their screens? Comment below if you're fired up for a defensive battle that ends with us hoisting that W. All right, Purple Warriors, let's crank up the volume on this international showdown because the stakes couldn't be higher for our Vikings playoff push. At 2-2, every snap in London feels like a statement. Beat the Browns and we're right back in the NFC North hunt, tied with the Lions and Packers. Jefferson's not just stats on a page. He's the heartbeat, facing off against that Browns secondary that's allowed 222.5 passing yards per game, but just 2 TDs through the air. Our boys got that 2024 MVP buzz still echoing, and with Darnold slinging it at a 65% completion rate for 1,056 yards already, this could be the game where we hit 30 points for the first time since week 2. But suspense alert. Garrett's got 3.5 sacks this year, and if he ghosts our tackles again, it might force turnovers. We've protected the ball with 0 giveaways in 2 of 4 games. Fans, hit me with your hot take. Does JJ feast, or do we lean on the ground attack to control the clock? Now, transport yourself to the sidelines where the real drama unfolds. Our Vikings coaching staff, led by Kevin O'Connell, scheming up plays that exploit Cleveland's 25.5 points allowed per tilt, matching our scoring average dead on. We've been finishing drives like pros, converting 42% of red zone trips to touchdowns, while the Browns' offense sputters at 14 points per game, thanks to Joe Flacco's 6 picks on 93 of 160 passing. That's Turnover City, Skull Nation, and our secondary, holding foes to 20 points per game, could feast if we force 2 picks like we did against the Bears. But here's the hook. That London fog might roll in, messing with deep balls, so expect short, precise routes from Addison and TJ Hawkinson, who's at 22 catches for 210 yards. What if this becomes a field position war? Our punter Ryan Wright's booming 48-yard averages could pin him deep. Tell me in the comments. Are you trusting the run game with Jones? Or all in on the air raid? Diving deeper into the trenches, where Vikings news is buzzing our D-line, with Jonathan Greenid's 2.5 sacks and Andrew Van Ginkel's relentless pursuit. Ranks third in yards per drive allowed at 22.6. Against a Browns rush attack averaging just 3.2 yards per carry, with Quinton Judkins grinding out 237 yards on 49 totes, we could stuff him cold, forcing third and longs that Flacco dreads. Offensively, though, that O-line's banged up. Left tackle Christian Darrisaw's questionable with a knee tweak from Dublin, meaning Garrett might have a field day if we don't scheme screens and quick outs. Stats don't lie. Cleveland's pass rush hits QBs on 12% of dropbacks, but Darnold scrambled for 98 yards already, buying time like a boss. Skull fam, this is where momentum shifts. Who do you see as our unsung hero, the D-line or the mobile QB? Share your thoughts. Let's build that hype together. Hold on to your horns, because as we edge toward kickoff, the energy in London is palpable. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, that gleaming fortress with 62,000 seats rocking purple from afar, hosts our first of two back-to-back international battles after that Dublin gut check. Vikings at 2-2 means we're resilient, outgaining foes by 70 yards per game on average, but Cleveland's at home, sort of with their crowd trying to drown out our skull chants. Jefferson's facing Martin Emerson Jr., who's allowed a 65% completion rate in coverage, ripe for exploitation, especially with JJ's 6 explosive plays of 20-plus yards already. Yet, the Browns' run D ranks top 10, so Jones might need to burst for those 50-yard sprints like his 68-yard scamper last month. Question for you Warriors. If it's a tie game at half, who breaks it? Jefferson's hands or our defense's fists? Comment now. I read every one. Shifting gears to the intangibles that make Vikings news electric, team chemistry's on fire post-Dublin, with locker room vibes high after Sam Darnold's 285-yard grit despite the L. We've scored 25.5 points per game, but allowed 20, a razor-thin margin against Cleveland's anemic attack that's turned it over 7 times. Imagine Hawkinson boxing out defenders for those contested grabs. He's got 3 TDs this year, and with the Browns' L-Beast vulnerable in coverage, it could be open season. But suspense builds. Weather forecast calls for 58 degrees and drizzly. Slippery ball means no fumbles, or we're toast. Our special teams, with Jake Camarda's 51-yard punt average, could flip field position. Skull Nation, what's your worry spot? The weather or the pass rush? Let's debate in the comments. Your voice fuels this fire. As the clock ticks down to Sunday, let's talk legacy, our Vikings own. London, 4-0 in regs, including that epic 2017 win over these Browns where Case Keenum carved them up for 321 yards. Fast forward to 2025. At 2-2, a W here catapults us to 3-2, breathing down the Lions' necks in the north. Jefferson's not slowing, his 78% catch rate screams dynasty, but Garrett's 16% pressure rate could test Darnold's 4.2 seconds per dropback. Offensively, we've rushed for 1.2 yards before contact above league average, thanks to that revamped line, yet Cleveland's front four has 10 sacks already. Hook question. Can we hit 100 rush yards again, or does it go pass heavy? Fans, sound off below. What's your score prediction for this purple invasion? Zooming in on the X factors, where Vikings news thrives on the unexpected, watch for Jordan Addison's YAC magic. His 6.2 yards after catch lead the team, perfect against a Browns secondary that's coughed up 11 chunk plays. Defensively, our corners like Byron Murphy Jr. have locked down WR1S to under 50% completion, and with Chris Olave nursing a hammy for Cleveland, their air game might stall at Flacco's 5.1 yards per attempt. But drama alert. If Darrisaw sits, rookie tackles could crumble, echoing our 3 sacks allowed in Week 3. We've converted 55% of third downs, tops in the NFC. Keep that chain moving and it's ours. Skull fam, who's your dark horse for MVP of the game? Hit the comments. Let's crown one early. Building the tension now, because this ain't just a game. It's a statement in the 2025 International Series, with our Vikings chasing that elusive global dominance after Dublin's near miss. At 2-2, our plus 42-point differential screams contender, outscoring opponents by 8 per game, while Cleveland's minus 48 mark has desperate at 1-3. Jefferson versus Garrett? That's comic book stuff. JJ's evaded 6 tackles this year, but Miles has 28 pressures. Our run D allows just 3.8 yards per carry, prime to neuter Judkins' 4.8 average. Yet, Flacco's sneaky mobility, 18 rushes for 92 yards, could extend drives if we blitz wrong. What if it's overtime under the lights? Your call, Warriors. Vikings in regulation or extra drama? Share below. I'm all ears. Let's get personal, Skull Nation, because as a lifelong Vikings diehard, I live for these overseas epics where our purple pride conquers continents. We've won 4 straight London regs, averaging 28 points, and with Darnold's 0 INTs in 2 games, this feels primed for explosion. Cleveland's given up 294 rushing yards total. Wait. No, that's our offense's mark. But their D-line's tired after Detroit's beatdown. Addison's route-running wizardry, 85 route grade per PFF, could gash him, especially with their CBs allowing 12.1 yards per target. Suspense peaks. Will the jet lag hit harder on the second week abroad? We've adapted, scoring 25+ twice already. Fans, if you could teleport one Vikings legend to London for morale, Randy or Adrian? Who and why? Comments open. Let's reminisce. Edging closer to broadcast bliss, where Vikings News drops the mic on viewing deets. Tune in exclusively on NFL Network at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, with the legendary Kenny Albert on play-by-play, Jonathan Vilma breaking down the X's and O's, and Sarah Walsh roaming the sidelines for those juicy updates. Mike Pereira's your rules guru, ready to decode any replay drama, because you know these international games love a controversial flag. Local feeds hit KMSP in Minneapolis and WEWS in Cleveland. So no excuses. Purple up your living room. But wait, the pregame sizzle starts at 7 a.m. Eastern Time with NFL Game Day Kickoff, Colleen Wolfe hosting alongside Steve Mariucci, our ex-Vikings OC, and Gerald McCoy dishing D-line wisdom from LA. Insiders like Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero drop league bombs, while Walsh and Judy Batista beam in from London. Skull fam, who's your must-watch analyst? Tell me in the comments. Oh man, the halftime heat is where it gets real. Wolfe, Mariucci, and McCoy take over right after the second quarter buzzer, dissecting if Jefferson's torched them or if Garrett's living rent-free in Darnold's head. Picture Mariucci, that Vikings lifer, hyping our play calling. Kevin O'Connell's got 'em scheming like it's 1998. We've averaged 12.5 points in first halves this year, but Cleveland's clamped secondaries to 10. Will our adjustments flip the script? Post-game, they wrap it with instant reactions, perfect for debating that game-winning drive. And don't sleep on the full slate. NFL Game Day Live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, highlights at 7:30, and final at 11:30. Non-stop Vikings coverage. Question for you. Halftime score prediction. Vikings up 14-7 or locked at 10-10. Drop it below. Let's manifest that lead. Streaming savvy because in 2025, we're cutting cords and chasing glory on the go. Catch every Jefferson juke and Garrett spin via NFL Plus, the league's direct-to-you magic on NFL.com, the app, or authenticated through your cable apps. That's live on mobile, tablet, Roku, anywhere you roam. Purple streams free-flowing for subscribers. Audio junkies, Westwood One's national radio call hits SiriusXM, NFL app, and NFL.com, with local flavor on your dial. For the full watch party blueprint, smash over to NFL.com/watch. It's got every angle covered. We've streamed flawless in past London wins. No glitches in our 2017 route. Skull Nation, how are you tuning in, big screen or phone in the gym? Share your setup in the comments. Maybe I'll shout out the most epic one. As the series rolls on, eyes on the horizon, after we handle Cleveland on the 5th, the international games heat up October 12th with Broncos versus Jets, again at Tottenham, exclusive on NFL Network and NFL Plus streaming. That's back-to-back London weekends, but ours is the appetizer that whets the appetite for global NFL fever. Vikings News is all over it. 7 international tilts this year, from Sao Paulo to Berlin, proving our league's worldwide takeover. And we're leading the charge. Imagine the buzz if we snag this W, setting up a 3-2 Road Warriors vibe. But first things first, focus on Sunday's glory. Fans, would you brave the pond for a future Vikings game? Dublin redo or London rematch? Hit the comments. Your travel dreams inspire me. Wrapping this hype train with a bow, because no Vikings news drop is complete without the pulse of the purple. Follow at NFL Media on X and Insta for real-time scoops, and swing by media@nfl.com for league-wide fire. But hey, Skull fam, you've stuck with me through 15 segments of pure adrenaline. Now it's your turn to keep the roar alive. If this got your blood pumping for Jefferson's domination and our D's shutdown, smash that like button harder than Garrett on a blitz. Drop your score picks, bold takes, and Skull chants in the comments. I reply to everyone, promise. Subscribe for daily Vikings updates so you never miss a beat, and share this with your fellow warriors. Let's flood the feed with purple pride. Until next time, stay fierce, stay faithful, Skull Vikings.